Okay, so today we're going to be talking about evaporation. Do you know what evaporation is?
Isn't it when water just disappears?
That's not true. So evaporation is when a liquid changes into the form of a gas. This is usually done under the influence of heat. So for example, that could be something like when we boil water on the stove. So how do you think evaporation works?
With heat?
Exactly. So heat is conducted into the water, which changes it into a gas. That gas is called water vapor. Now the easiest way we can remember evaporation is that the word itself actually has the word vapor in it.
Oh, it has two.
Excellent. So that helps us remember evaporation is changing from the liquid to the gas, which is called water vapor. So the sun is the main source of heat in the environment, and another source of heat that we have is actually our body. So our body temperature conducts the heat, which helps us, dry off in summer when it's wet. So for example, if we went to the beach, forgot our towel, would we just dry off standing around?
Yes,
exactly. And why do you think we would do that?
because the sun would be the heat, and also our body heat would work also.
Exactly. So that's an excellent example. So, and what's some other examples we can think of?
Puddles?
Puddles. Perfect. Excellent. What about if we put some dishes on the drying rack and they eventually dry? Where do you think that water would go? What do you think happens to it?
It goes up into the air.
Yeah. So it evaporates, which means so it changes from the liquid into the gas, the water vapor, and then it becomes part of the atmosphere around us, which essentially goes up into the clouds, and then it can go in and rain, and then the process happens all over again. So that's how we get our puddles, and the puddles evaporate, go into the clouds, they get transported up there, and then it's just kind of like a cycle like that. So let's have a quick chat about what we can use. What other types of heat can we use to help dry, or not dry, but help evaporate water? So what kind of heat? Excellent. So we can use a stove. What else could we use? What about when we're standing in the bathroom where it might be a little bit cold?
Under a heat lamp?
A heat lamp. Excellent. What else? What about how do you dry our hair at night? How does that happen?
Hair dryer.
A hair dryer. So there's some examples of how we can we can speed up evaporation. So we can apply extra heat, which essentially helps the water evaporate up. Now, we're going to talk about some misconceptions. So misconceptions are things that aren't true, but people may believe. So what do you think happens? I'll bring you up a photo. What do you think happens to water when it boils? So we've got a photo here of water boiling. We've got some bubbles and we've got some steam. So what do you think these bubbles are?
They would be the water vapor.
Exactly. They're actually water vapor in there, so they're the steam that comes up. Some people think that they are just air or oxygen. So they're not actually that. They're water vapor coming up into steam. So that's how our water is evaporating. So that's how sometimes when you put a pot on the stove, it can actually boil. They call it boiling dry. So it means all the water disappears, but it doesn't actually disappear, does it? Where does it go?
It goes up into the atmosphere and the air around it.
Exactly. What about, so we've got our puddle, we talked about that one. What about closing the line?
The sun helps dry them.
Exactly. So what do you think? Do you think maybe, if we had a dark blue t-shirt and a yellow t-shirt, which one do you think would dry quicker?
I think they'd dry the same.
You think they would? So sometimes, another misconception is that this is kind of the same thing, but when you have, say for example, you have a black t-shirt on the line and you've got a white t-shirt on the line, the black will actually dry quicker because it conducts heat. So it gets sunlight and it contracts the sunlight a lot faster than what something white or yellow would. Does that make sense to you? Yes. Exactly. Okay. So what about if we had a container of water? So do you think the water would just disappear in the container? Because sometimes we can leave, say if we had a vase, we could leave that out and the flowers in it, and sometimes the water just disappears.
If there's heat, yes it would.
Yeah, so does it disappear though?
No.
No. Where does it go?
It goes into the atmosphere, the air around it.
Exactly. So we're going to have a quick look at an experiment that we're going to do. We've got a bag of hot water and a bag of room temperature water. So they're the same amount, and I'm just going to put a drop. Now, which one do you think is going to dry the quickest?
I would say the one with the hot water in it because it has heat.
Excellent.